right, so give everybody a minute to hop on.
Hello,
Yeah, it should be on the BWO page.
Is there any way I can make
Yeah.
my screen bigger, Lois?
I don't know. I don't think so though. I can read the comments for you if you want. I can read them from my phone.
What up, Zach?
But there is a what's up, Zach? Zach said, "What's up? What's up?" It is closed caption, so.
Oh, so I'm not going to be able to see the comments?
Can you see them on your end or no?
No. Do I need to hit the
All right.
chat?
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you hit the chat, it should be on there. Well, you could probably see them, but you're not. What's up, Jared? I'm gonna share this live stream. You guys take a second and share it out too, okay?
Y'all be patient with us, y'all. First BWO podcast. We're gonna work out some kinks tonight. I wish I could see everybody's comments, but we'll figure that out next show.
If you had another device, you could log in on.
Oh, I got it right here.
Device. You do? All right, go to the BWO page and click on the video. You can read the comments from there. What's up, Jared? Zach, had a birthday party for my daughter, and we still tapping in. Thank you so much, Zach. Hey, Jameson. We got John on, Nikki's on. Hey, everybody. All right, yeah, take a second and share the video out if you guys don't mind. All right, so hi, Aaron. What's up? All right, so if you guys don't know, I lost Lance. Hold on, let me let him back in.
God dang.
All right.
Sorry, yeah.
Lance is, if you guys don't know Lance is very technologically challenged.
To put it nicely.
Thanks, Millie Kennels. All right, so first of all, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the first podcast for BWO. So this is something that's been talked about for a little while. Lance left again. So, there he is. Let me let him back in. I should get my Bluetooth mouse.
I did it again, okay. Y'all. Sorry. I was trying to look at the comments, but when I do it, it puts it over the screen, and I was trying to get back out of it, so because I couldn't see what me and you were doing. So I'm just going to let you read the comments, and I'm not going to get kicked out again. Sorry, guys.
You're good. So John says BWO. Jameson said, "What's happening?" Aaron says, "What's up, guys?" Snowy Kendall says, "Hey, how are y'all?" And they're sharing now. And Jerry Jones just tapped in and said, "What's up?"
Yeah, y'all, we just want to give a few minutes and kind of give shout outs, like Lois is doing now, just to kind of give it a minute to let as many people as we can get on, and then we'll, kind of get this thing started. But, all of us are scattered out all over. We got 4 different groups showing in 4 different states, or 5 different groups showing in 4 different states.
3 different registries.
In 4 different registries. So, like I said, me and Lois are up here in Georgia at the UKC show. Pulled some first and some second places and some best males between the 2 of us. I think had a good day in BRC. I think we brought some ribbons home there too. And I know in Texas, holding it down like always. I think they've done pretty good today, but don't know exactly what they've done. And Laura's been down in AKC, Laura Watson, in the AKC in Florida, in Lakeland, Florida, right?
I believe they were in Lakeland, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, guys, thanks for hopping on. Looks like we got about 17 people on. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Lois. Lois Villarreal. I am with Jayville Bullies. We're based out of Jacksonville, Florida, like right outside of Jacksonville, Florida. I was born and raised in Jacksonville. So if you guys don't know, the name Jayville actually comes from that, but also the fact that my husband's name is Joe Villarreal. So it was just very fitting. It was kind of cheesy, but it's fitting.
Oh, I didn't even know that on the second part. I just always took it as, Jacksonville,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I'll let Lance introduce himself.
I'm Lance Lee from North Mississippi, owner of Blue Magic Bullies. We have Grand Champion John Wayne, Champion Earth, Champion Bonnie. One of the founding members of the BWO when it first started. And we're going to get into all that stuff later, but just super pumped up about this new venture with the podcast. We got so many people from so many different paths and so many starting points in the dog game. We just feel like, we're not here to say that we know it all. And that what we do is going to work for everybody. But I think if we can we have so many different stories and so many just, almost nots and almost could haves and or, something, we just have so many different stories from everybody. So that's really what we're trying to do. And we want to communicate with our supporters and then, new people who have questions. We have vet techs, we have people who make trophies, we got judges, everybody in the group, pulls their weight. So, that's kind of really the main thing, to me behind the podcast is just, reaching out to the community more, and, trying to get information and spread information, stuff that has worked for us and stuff that hadn't worked for us and, go from there, with it, and learn some stuff from, other people too, so.
So we got a few comments that came in. Butter and Family said, y'all definitely doing right by these dogs. Hope and pray to see y'all soon. And then Jameson said, Emma said to tell y'all she won 3 best juniors today, and she and Landon said, hey.
Yeah, that's some of our BWO junior handlers, y'all. Really proud of them. Like I said, they were in the BRC in Mississippi today. So, like I said, 4 states, 4 different registries, 5 or 6 groups went. BWO, Kentucky, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas. So the only 2 that really wasn't was Louisiana and Alabama. Well, no, Alabama was in Mississippi too. So I think Corey was down there.
We still have more to do this weekend too. So we ain't quite done yet. We got day 2 for UKC for us tomorrow. So we'll be able to post. I don't know if you guys are following the page. Please take a second. And if you can look up the BWO page, it's the same logo we all have been using. If you go there, just like the page, follow the page. When you follow the page, you do have to click on the little dots on the side and then go in there and hit the like button because we do have some people that are following but didn't like the page. It would help a ton if you guys did like the page. That would be amazing. And then so just a few different things that we're gonna touch base with before we really get into it. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. It's our first one, so we're working out some kinks. Just please share this video. Another thing is please post comments and the questions in the comment section. Like we really want to hear from you guys, what you guys want to know. And we want to know like what kind of questions you have so we can answer them. And then also give us like subjects for like future podcasts and too, stuff that we weren't able to get to today. Also, we're going to be, when I say we, I mean Lance is going to give away a freaking badass cup. It's a BWO tumbler, and those things are not cheap. Somebody's going to get one for free.
And we're going to try to do something like that for every show. Like I said, we're just getting it started. Like y'all, we're normally going to do this on a weekday, and Lois hadn't figured out. She's super busy, so we hadn't locked that day in. But we did want to go ahead and get it started and kind of do this and work the kinks out and get the program set up. But we are going to try to give away, and we do have a BWO cup. It's black. I think it's a 20, maybe a 24-ounce tumbler. It's like the Yeti cups, but it's not a Yeti brand. But it does really good, hot or cold stuff. But it'll have this BWO logo on it. Actually, the one that's on the back of the shirt, it'll have the state of Mississippi BWO on it. But we definitely want to try to show people that we do care about the support and everything. But
yeah. And if you guys want to know what you can do to get this cup, it's very simple. Just be active in the chat. So what I'm going to do is when I get off, I'm going to go through and see how many comments we had. And if say we had 200 comments, then I'll do a random number generator for 200. And whatever number that generator lands on, I'll count down. And that comment will be the person that wins this cup. So it's simple, it's very easy. You guys comment, interact with each other, ask questions. All of that is great. It also helps circulate our content. And again, it's free. All you have to do is be active in the chat. That's all. So Jerry James has a very good question. Actually, that was one of the questions listed here. We're going to lead into that in a minute. But the question that Jerry just asked is this. He says, did I lose that? I can scroll back down here, sorry. All right, so Jerry said, so what are the founding principles of the BWO? So if you give me just a sec, that actually was something that was on our list to talk about. Rob Conklin hopped on. He said, what's up?
What's up, Rob?
Nikki Lynn hopped in. She says, what's up? And then Zach says, BWO.
How did Vito do today, Nikki?
And also, while Nikki's answering that, Zach Dolan says, a BWO question, how tall is Lance? Lance Lee, how tall is Lance? Lance Lee is so tall that when you enter into a building and he got that black shirt on, if you don't read BWO, you think he's a security guard. That's how he's the tallest mofo in the building every time. It's crazy.
We had people today using asking us to park cars and stuff. It was crazy.
They're picking at you. Rob says you block out the sun tall.
My nickname in high school was Eclipse.
Oh my goodness.
6'5", man. 6'5", and I weighed myself today 330, and we're about to do something about that.
Yeah. BWO is nationwide. Somewhat. Like, well, there's several states, but we don't have people in every state yet. He's tall.
Yes, we have Mississippi, Florida, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. So we have seven camps, 7 states represented, and some states have a couple other camps. I think Mississippi, we have about 7 camps just ourselves. So, it's about 14 different dog groups, or better. I think 16 actually. So
Zach Dolan says, I feel like ordering a Happy Meal every time I'm chilling with him.
Yeah, he's super, especially when me and him go places, but he's super short. But yeah, man, I'm the baby of the family, y'all. I'm the smallest one. I'm 6'5", my brother's 6'7", so I don't really realize how tall I am sometimes until we see pictures.
Hey, Cassidy. Nikki said that they still have one show to go, but they weren't doing great.
That's all right. It was a tough competition.
Yeah.
So to go back to let's go back to Jerry's question, Lois, because he asked a good question, right?
So here's the original question I had written for us to answer. It was, what is the BWO? So I'm going to let Lance answer that question. There's a little bit of like meat and potatoes in there, but we're going to give like a real general question because there's more to it that we'll be able to cover in just a little bit. So what is?
So you go deep into it, or just kind of give an outline, Lois?
Just kind of skim it for right now, because we're going to get into that.
So BWO was a group made, and we'll get into the states and everything later. But it was a group made to work together for better show dogs and being there and supporting each other, and that's really what it started off of, and breeding for show quality bulls. That's our main objective, whether you're trying to go for mass first or structure first, as long as you have a vision and push. We asked around a lot of camps before we did it, and we kind of got the pros and cons and stuff, and like Lois said, we'll go into that stuff later. So it wasn't just a overnight thing, but it was something that took a lot of work. Jared Harmon, myself, John Bridges, and Jeremy Oliphant from Mississippi started it. And I know that got into another question, Lois.
Yeah,
but that was pretty much the start. And it was, and originally it was just to be from Mississippi. But if y'all know, you go to shows, you'll meet some incredible people that that we're lucky to be in the group and lucky to call family. So I would say the basis of the BWO was, the main goal was to show dogs, number one, no matter the registry, to show your dog and to strive your best to even if your vision's a little different from the standard, but to strive for your best to breed healthy dogs, bigger, better dogs, each go around. So that's pretty much the basis.
Yeah, there you go. So that I think that if that doesn't fully answer your question, just hang tight because we've got more to that answer. But if you find that we don't fully answer that question, just ask something a little more specific, and then we can answer that. But Jameson said, "Give it up, y'all, for John and Lauren. They killed their classes today. That's freaking awesome. We love hearing that."
And that's BWO Kentucky, y'all, and just like Tammy and them, people ask all the time how to get in the BWO. The main thing is, like I said, to show your dogs, but to if you support us and support our movement, and those guys there would show up to shows, buy merchandise. And I'm not saying you got to buy merchandise, but they were always doing stuff and wearing the BWO over their kennel. And finally we made them family, and it's just they're on a good path and a kennel to look out for. So congratulations to them, because I've seen them work super hard, and I've seen them pull a lot of second places and keep to the grindstone. So and that's what we want. That's exactly the type of people we need. People who are willing to take a bump on the chin and get back up and go out next weekend and get right back after the fight. So congratulations to them.
Zach Dolan says, BWO makes everyone feel like family. The energy is through the roof.
Appreciate it, Zach. We appreciate your support, bro. You already know what we feel about you.
So yeah, so that's one of the questions. So Lance did answer another question that I had on here, which was who started the BWO. So there were 4 founding members. So leaning from that question, I'm going to ask you, because you already answered to where it was started, which was Mississippi. So my next question for you, Lance, is what was your original vision for this group? Like, what was your original vision? Like, yeah, we talked, you said, you mentioned that you wanted to dogs.
So yes, but it wasn't just mine. So when we first started, it was me, Jeremy, John, and Jared. We were all from Mississippi. We were all, hitting shows, going to shows together, just getting our feet wet, getting our asses kicked in the ring. But we all wanted better, and you could see how we wanted better and what we wanted to do. So it's always been a team thing. I know a lot of people associate me with just the founder of the BWO and stuff, but it was us 4 who started it. I was the one that was just at the first of it. I worked for myself, so I was able to get off on the Fridays and go to the shows, and John and all them got regular jobs, and so it's, they couldn't get off as much as I could and stuff. But, I was honored to, push it out there, but it's always been a team and family thing. Everybody has a voice. Yes, Mississippi is the hub, and always will be. We're the only state that can add another state, to it. But the people that we put in control of the states, we got 100% trust in. So to be picked as the head of a state is more, is a really big, it's a big trust, a big leap of trust for us, putting in you, to do that and pick. And just like we picked Tammy and they picked Lois, and then now look at Lois, she's running the damn podcast. So when pieces are picked and they make sense, like that's when I get real happy. And we feel like if one of us win, all of us win, and going back what Zach said, we do try to stay positive and treat everybody like family and travel together. Like Lois is 2 doors down from me in the same hotel. We ate lunch together today. We just ate dinner together. It is kind of like, an extension of your family, when you're out of town and stuff. So all of those things really came into play. If you can read the question again, Lois, I'll try to get more back on point. I know I ramble a little, y'all. But it's our first podcast, and I just want to make sure that, everybody really knows that it's never been a Lance Lee. It's always been us 4. I was just at the beginning out in shows more, and now there's weekends where I'm at the house and everybody else is showing. So I love it. I love where it's gone. Did I ever expect it to get? We never even expected it to get. We just figured, we'll just start a group and be in Mississippi until whatever. and then, meeting people like Tammy and Robert, Conklin with Tam Tough Bullies, just knew about a year and a half into it, just knew that it was such an honor to have people like that want to be a part of our movement. And we just knew then that, we took the leap, and there were some members that didn't want to, from Mississippi, that didn't want to add other states. And then I've had them all come back to me and tell me, hey man, it's the best thing we ever did. So, if we keep moving and stay positive, but we never thought it would get this big. But now that we're at where we're at, we're going to try to push it to make it as big as we can to put on for all states that are represented in BWO. And yes, we do want to have a BWO in every 50 states, but we're not going to rush it. We may not add anybody next year. We add it when the time's right. But I'm proud of where the group's come and how far it's come and even the quality of all of our dogs. Some of us have gotten rid of dogs, and everybody kind of pushes everybody. Ever since we became a group, it's gotten better 100% all the way around.
So that does kind of lead into your answer kind of leads into my next question. So the original question was, what was the original version for your group or vision for your group? So the next question is, what is the current vision for the group, and has that changed since you guys started the BWO?
I think it's changed a little bit because, the standards, where we mainly show in the ABKC have changed. I don't know the future of the BWO. What I would want is, like I said, to have as stronger groups in every 50 state like we have now. To be in all 50. Yes, Alaska too, wherever, all 50 states that allow American bullies, like that's, and to be top dogs and to be multiple members in the BWO, being in top 10s in registries together, like that's my thing. And really to have BWO all the way in a pedigree. Like I said, the sky's really the limit. There's really no way to put where I guess you could say where we want to go. Yeah. To have everybody have a damn national winning dog and some kind of registry. But to me, keep growing and building and family like this, that's a win in itself. So just really, I guess the goal is to just keep moving and get a little better every year and learn from our mistakes from the years past. And as long as we keep getting better, not making the same mistakes, I think the sky's the limit. I really do. I don't think there's a group out there right now, and I'm not trying to sound cocky, that's hitting as many shows, as many registries, and as many states as we are on a regular basis. This isn't the first weekend that we've been in different states and different registries, in multiple states and multiple registries. I think we've already done that like 3 or 4 times this year. So
I highly recommend you guys, if you see BWO at any show, the people we have are so approachable. Just go up there, ask to see the dogs, talk to them about the dogs, talk to them about
Correct.
your dog, because there are so many good dogs in this group. I feel like there's going to be, we're going to, like you said, there's going to be whole pedigrees with just BWO dogs. So people are going to start looking out for our dogs, which means you guys want to get in there early. Y'all want to get in there early and hit up our people and hit up their dogs. I think we're trying to do this the right way, and I really feel like we definitely can bring some heat, which kind of leads into our next question, because this question says, what are the future plans for BWO? So I know there has been some talk about things like, like we're wanting to do more. We definitely want to do more. Just talking to Lance and getting an idea of some things that he's had discussions about with other people. There's like a lot that's going to be going on soon with the BWO that you guys may really be surprised to see and want to be a part of. So I know we have a goal to put on a show. I don't know how soon it's going to be, but we want to put on a show one day. So,
but we got a lot of boxes checked off as far as information, judges and stuff. It's a big process, but we definitely is one of the main goals for sure, Lois. I'm glad you brought that up, to throw a show and to make it every year, once a year, BWO black and white show every year. So yeah, we got that in the works. Don't know about this year. Hoping for 24 for sure.
Yep, yep. So that's one thing that we that's planned for the future is that there'll be a show at some point. So just keep an eye out for that. Just keep keep checking out the page because there's going to be a lot of updates given on that page. There's content posted there damn near every day. So if you've had a chance to go check out the page, please do. There's reels on there. There's all kinds of stuff. We're just trying to grow that page. I have a pinned post on that page that has every single kennel, the owners of the kennels, all listed there. So if you happen to see something on the page that you're like, oh, that dog's really cool, you can actually go to the pinned post, find that kennel, and contact the owner of that kennel directly. So that way you can get in touch a lot faster. So there's, and if you guys cannot, and Lance has offered, if you guys cannot get a hold of that kennel, please reach out to Lance. He'll put this in motion.
Please, or anybody that or anybody in the BWO. If you know anybody and you're like, hey, I need, whose dog is that? Hit them up. We don't know every dog by name, or I don't anyway, that's in the group. Like I said, I got 12 dogs myself. So, you do that times 16 people. That's a lot of dogs to remember everybody's name. But I guarantee you send us a picture, we'll know who owns the dog and get you in contact with them, point blank. So yeah.
Tammy said hopefully we'll be having the first shorty bull litter in the BWO in 55 days.
Nice. Keep our fingers crossed for Tammy.
Jerry Jones says, I'll donate a pedigree COI analysis to support BWO.
Jerry James?
Yeah, Jerry James. Sorry.
I appreciate that, Jerry. He's out in Oklahoma. Tell him to say what his kennel is on there. Jerry, I'm sorry, I can say that. Jerry, say what your kennel is on there. But he does breeding coefficients, inbreeding coefficients. And I've had him do a couple on my litters, and you'd be surprised, how far that stuff gets you. I got a 2 times, just say I got a 2 times Rocco. Well, you thinking 2 times Rocco. Well, Rocco may only be in there twice, and then a dog in the pedigree that, you may not even necessarily like the look of. And I'm just using this as an example. I'm not talking about any dog. I'm just using a dog's name that everybody, should know. But it may be that other dog that's in there 4 or 5 times, so it's something definitely to look out for. So is he going to give that away as a gift, or how's he going to do that?
Jerry is from Dubtown Bullies, and good question, Jerry. So if you want to kind of elaborate, exactly what that's going to be, and then also if you want to reach out to Lance, or we can get Lance to reach out to you to get that in motion. But can you kind of explain to everybody what that is? Because I know there's people that are on here that either don't have dogs or are just new to dogs. So what is that exactly? The pedigree.
Jerry, shorthand it, Jerry. Don't get in nothing too involved. That Jerry, he'll explain it down to the T.
He just replied, yes, a gift. It's a gift.
Okay. All right, good, bro. So maybe we'll throw that in on the next show, or maybe we'll throw it in on this show, and we'll get y'all in contact with him. So what it is you take 2 females, and you take what you're breeding and send him the pedigree, and he runs it through his system, and it goes back 10 pedigrees, I think, 10 generations each way, and does the line breeding breeding coefficients on it. And it lets you know if it's over a certain number, you probably shouldn't do it and stuff like that. How many times, a dog, and he's got the numbers and stuff worked out. But that's pretty much the gist of it. It's a good tool to do, and especially if you want it, tonight, it would be a good thing to have to run on a breeding that you had a lot invested in, just to kind of get a step ahead. The info's definitely helped me out on 2 of my breedings. As far as, what to expect and everything. And he hit everything on the head, so it blew my mind.
Andrea, to answer your question, yes, this is also live streaming on 3 different 3 different pages. We have it on my personal profile, the BWO page, and also on YouTube. Let's see.
Yeah,
Jameson
y'all,
says, Good. You good?
Go ahead.
Jameson said, COI is one of the most important things in breeding, especially if you plan to line breed or inbreed.
Yep.
And Jerry says he'll do one. He's going to do one for each show. You mean for each podcast? Is that what you're talking about? COI measures the degree of inbreeding. He just wants to support the BWO. That's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, Jerry. That's stand up. Jerry's actually, a customer of mine. He actually got a dog for me, so we really appreciate that, Jerry. But that's the type of people we're trying to deal with. Like I said, people who's trying to actually better the breed and do things the right way, and that program really is good information to have. So. Definitely pumped up about that. We got any more comments you want to talk about? Anybody saying anything, or is that kind of it?
Jerry says, "My pleasure." Do you guys have questions or anything you want to ask? So I do have one more question to ask you, Lance, and that is, what future plans do you have for this podcast, or do we have for this podcast?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's never, and Lois is just reading off, so she's not implying anything, but it's never a me thing. It's never a Lois thing. We're a team. And if you can't be a part of a team, you don't need to be around. We don't, and, we wish you the best, but, but we really invest, look into people, but where I see this podcast going, we've looked at some, other podcasts, like Muscle Bullies with the X-Dog Stan and them doing, and just trying to grow. Oh, I can read that. Did you put that up there on purpose, James? I mean,
yeah, I did.
Okay, Jameson, donate. But I feel like the podcast is a way for us to reach a whole lot more people in the dog community. And even if you're not in the dog community, or even if you're thinking about getting in the show, and, I think this podcast will be able to help people. And even if you don't have a bully, all the breedings that we've done between us, we've probably seen it all, from miscarriages to puppies dying to, bringing puppies back to life. And, like I said, Kayla Bell, she's a vet tech. So, obviously don't, bother nobody 1 o'clock in the morning, but, always, you got a question, hit somebody up, and let them know. Appreciate you, Jameson, donating that puppy box, man. That's good. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, so to kind of add to what he was saying about the podcast. So yeah, there's going to be so many different subjects, that we can do in the future. There's just so many. And I guess some of it will kind of depend on really what's going on that we see out there. So if there's something that we feel like we need to talk about now, we'll go ahead and put that in the list of things to talk about. But I know one of the major things that we really want to do is give each one of our kennels a chance to be highlighted for the month. So it's going to take some time to get through everybody, because we're going to do one podcast a month for right now. So we're going to go down the list and randomly pick a kennel, and that kennel you'll be able to hopefully they'll be okay about coming on the live stream and discussing about their kennel, because that's how we're going to be able to promote them. So we are going to pick somebody tonight before we get off.
That's right. Want to definitely, the podcast is for, for highlighting a kennel, and we will definitely, like tonight, we're going to do a drawing on which kennel we're going to highlight, and all month we'll be posting that. There'll be some other stuff posted, but mainly it'll be just that kennel posted, pushing if they got breedings coming or whatever productions they've done, whatever champions they got. It's going to be pretty much all them. And then instead of just me and Lois, there'll be a third person on here, and that's what we'll do. And tonight we may even bring some people on. I know Kayla. Did you tag Kayla?
I sent her the link, and I also sent her the link to watch in case she's not able to join. So I sent her both. But
go ahead.
So Skyla said, what are the requirements for BWO for new people who are starting shows and still learning?
So like I kind of touched base on that earlier. There's really no requirements. We've had some people say that, some champions, you need champions to be, there's a couple members, and I'm not going to say because I don't know, if they would like that or not, but there's a couple members that have been got a part of BWO, just like I said, just coming to shows, supporting us, show us that you're going to show, because that's the number one thing about the BWO is we won't show people. Do you have to hit every show every weekend? Do you have to hit, a certain number? Maybe down the road we have something like that written, but we really don't have a rule book, y'all. We really just everybody do what you're supposed to do, act grown, better the breed, and and show us that you want to show, and show that you show support with us. Come, hit the, and you don't need money to show support. You don't have to buy a shirt. Go smash that follow button, share our stuff. We're not even talking about, likes and stuff on Facebook, which all that helps, but show support, and ask questions, reach out to us. And the more we meet you and the more we get to know you, the better chance you got, point blank. The better we get to know you, the more we're going to know what we're adding and what we're not adding.
Right.
But, you don't have to have any kind of caliber of dog. We want, obviously, if you're showing, we want, if your dog's winning, it don't hurt none. I mean, I'll say that, but I mean, that's not, that's not the main requirement. We want to grow with you. And like I said, we want BWOs and pedigrees, and, when we do collaboration breedings, we'll put BWO in front of the breeding. Like if me and Lois was to breed, we would put BWO. And if we wanted to do slash and do our kennels, we could, but eventually we would like to have in all generations, top and bottom, BWO. How cool would that be on a pedigree? So like I said, stuff like that's going to take years and years and years. So when people ask where the sky is and where the sky's the limit. I mean, where's the limit? Where you plan on being? Just getting better every year. And we've continued and we've done that. So, but I hope I answered the question on the requirements. For new people, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you get out and show and willing to show and willing to learn and reach out to us and see what shows we're going to and come with us. And, if somebody hands you a BWO shirt, wear it. It don't mean you're in the BWO, but you support them, and go from there, build a relationship with people.
Wear your shirt and come take some pictures with us. We love that stuff. I love that stuff. I will put you in our TikToks. I'll put you on our page.
And we'll shout your kennel out. We want to grow with everybody.
Let me see what Lauren said.
The BWO brought home the baddest dog in Mississippi trophy today. BWO lit up the blue ribbons the day of Mississippi. Woo, that makes me smile, girl. Hey, congratulations. John told me y'all did. I was going to call y'all when I got off this podcast. I was.
Wayne says we need at least once a week, like every Friday or every Saturday. I think he's talking about a podcast. So here's our thought. Because right now we're just getting started out, and it may turn into that one day. We really don't know, but as of right now, we're going to stick with once a month, and it's most likely going to be more on a Wednesday, because doing it on the weekend is really difficult when we're all trying to hit shows and stuff. We're traveling, we're doing this, the dog stuff. So Wednesday for me, I'm off on Wednesday, so it's a little easier for me to do them Wednesday evenings. So it'll be the same time. It'll just be on a Wednesday, and it'll be, I would like to say first Wednesday of the month. I would like to aim for that. We haven't really locked it down yet, but it's going to be one Wednesday a month for now.
For right now, but we see that it's going, and like I said, y'all, we're getting a shop. We can order big merchandise. Like I said, when we do the kennel, we're gonna shout out, people's websites, all their TikTok, Instagram, everything. So, you talking about wanting to be part of it, go follow everybody in the BWO, go like their stuff, go follow, and then like my friend Lois says, smash that follow button. You know what I mean?
So Nikki said we just got our first bully a year ago, though through Jeremy. Only been able to attend one show. I just would like to say I love seeing the things you are all doing with these dogs. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Nikki. We appreciate it. Yeah, Jeremy's one of the founders, so appreciate it.
So Jerry James says, how does BWO feel about the current vision of the ABKC?
So like I said, we're not all on here, so we're not going to get into broad stuff like that. right
Yeah,
now
we're
on
just
this.
two people.
This may
We
be a
can really speak on behalf of all the kennels because even though we're a family, we're still individual kennels. Like we all still are doing our own thing, but it's like having a large family, right? Like siblings that have moved out and started their own families, and so they're working their own families in their home, but we still meet on the holidays, if that makes sense. So
That's
something
right.
similar to that. So we all have our own thoughts on that kind of stuff. So my best suggestion for you to really is to kind of reach out to an individual kennel and see what they think, because we definitely can't speak on behalf of everybody, because when somebody might have a terrible experience, somebody else might have a great experience. So it kind of, you can't really speak for them, if that makes sense.
And also, too, Jerry, that's a great question, but that's a great
It
question
is.
maybe for the next podcast. And we're not trying to dodge any questions, but
Sure.
we are going to keep this podcast positive, and we're not going to bash anything. But no, I mean, I know you're not asking for that, but that's a great question. But I think it's good. This podcast here is to kind of communicate, kind of set things up, work out some bugs, iron some wrinkles, so maybe what whoever we draw tonight, who's going to be the first kennel highlighted, maybe hit them up with that question, and if they're comfortable with answering it, I know I am. If you want to hit me on my inbox, I later tonight, I definitely can talk to you about some things that I kind of see and feel. But like I said, we really just want to kind of explain our stories and really just kind of show you what this podcast is going to be. All the way.
Yeah, Wayne says, I'm on board. Y'all know knowledge is the key. I'm a new breeder with my first litter. What is BWO? So BWO is an acronym for Bully World Order. If you guys don't know, there is a story behind where the name came from, and I think we didn't answer that. So if you would like to tell Lance where that came
I
from.
definitely. Yeah, appreciate it, Wayne. I'm glad you actually brought it back up because it's really kind of funny. So I have my own construction business, and we kind of all got together like right when COVID hit, right? So everything was kind of crazy. Like we were all like hitting shows, doing our thing, and then the first damn nationals. When we first started showing, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, they didn't have nationals because of COVID. So we were, and my buddy Jared, Furniture Factory, they shut down for a while. So I told him, he was like, hey man, come work with me. So anyway, we were working together, I don't know, for probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something like that. We were remodeling the house and we were busting up some tile, y'all. And he looked up at me, I swear to God. So the BWO, obviously looks like, I don't know if y'all remember wrestling, but we went after the NWO, which was the New World Order with Hulk Hogan and all them. We all grew up in that era. So that's where it came from. So he looked up at me and he was like, hey, man, what do you think about the name of the group being BWO, Bully World Order, and do it? And then he told me the exact same thing. So Jared Harmon came up with, the BWO, and I looked at him and I said, dude, I love it. So we hit John and Jeremy up. Well, they laugh at us. They're laughing about it, like, man, that's crazy as hell, man, blah 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 blah, and they were like, but cool, we're gonna roll with it. So we did, and we just started making shirts, and like I said, y'all, we just went to shows, and we were blessed to have some good dogs because it kept us winning. We champed Bonnie, there was one show, after when we got Kayla was one of the first members we added. When we got Kayla Bell with Pearl River Bullies, I think we went to a show in Louisiana and we champed out like 3 dogs in a show. So, I mean, we got together quick, and, we've had some success, but now, it's spreading to other people. John Wayne had a run. John had a boy, Artest. Champion Bruno was the dog Jared's dog that really, brought us all together. He was the one that was killing it in the show ring at the time. And then just, we've all gotten better. And like I said, gotten better dogs and went on. So, I hope did I touch on everything pretty good right there, Lois?
Yeah, you did. You filled us all in.
Okay.
I knew what where BWO came from, but I didn't know the story about y'all busting up the tiles. So I learned something new.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. We were both on our knees busting up tile with jackhammers, and he looked up. 'Cause we was always trying to take a break, and he looked up and he was like, "Man, BWO." and it just grew, y'all. I mean, we just really started out with just, like I said, 3 or 4 people, and everybody saw what we were doing and respected what we were doing. And it seemed like we got more respect from out of state. And that was a big factor in, going out of state and getting the people that supported us and really wasn't mad and jealous, was what, we kind of did. So it's worked out great.
Skyla said, what advice would you give someone starting shows? There's a lot of advice you can give.
You answer that one, Lois, and then I'll answer it too. But you go first. What do you think? What advice, like right off top of your head, when you first started, like what advice do you wish somebody would have just told you? If it's from something simple or to something, something that is a kind of like a trade secret.
I really think patience is key. I really feel like it is. Yeah. I know it doesn't matter if you have a badass dog. If you're not patient enough to work with them at home and train them, and also be patient in the ring, because sometimes you have good days and some days you have bad days and you get your feelings hurt. I think just being patient and letting, especially if you have a puppy, most of us is going to start with a puppy, right? So like learning patience and letting the dog mature, I think is huge. Now you want to get them in the ring and you want to get them experience so they know what to expect when they are older, to get them in there, because you need to get them socialized and all that stuff. But I think just having that patience and understanding that you're not going to win every time you get in there. You might want to win, and winning is great, but just have patience and understand that it's not always going to work that way. But that's a loaded question. There's so many things that different people can give you advice on. There's a lot that goes into it. You're not just taking some random dog off the street and walking in the ring and winning ribbons. It don't happen like that,
That's exactly right. But those are the type questions that we're wanting people to ask when we highlight the members. But like Lois said, it's a loaded question. To me, what advice I would give somebody, and this is something that I really take to heart, and it's hard, and there's no playbook, and there's no right or wrong, or there's no way I can tell you what to do. But you got to learn who to listen to and who not to listen to. There's some people out there that'll tell you something just to tell you something, just because they think you're looking up to them by asking them the question, and they may not know the right answer and just going to tell you something anyway. But it's hard. It's like Lois said, it's a lot of patience, but learning who to listen to, and when you do find the right person, fucking listen to them. Like, and I'm guilty of this myself. I have a guy in Mississippi, Tick, that's, Thomas Campbell. That's one of my mentors. And John too, John Bridges. I consider him one of my mentors. And I've asked them both questions sometimes, and I went the wrong way. And, and they'll tell you, I knew you'd come around and listen one day, Lance, from smallest things like, hey man, you ain't got to take your dog to the vet every time something just a little bitty money where you can. But I guess that would be my advice tonight. You'd ask me next week, and I may have something else for you. But tonight, that's kind of what, when I read that question, that's kind of what popped in my head. Just kind of like we did with the BWO. Try to get you a group of people around you, like-minded people, and try to work together. Because I'm telling you, once you get a group of people, it's it's hard to stop. You really push each other, and iron sharpens iron. And, so that would be my advice. What was her name? Kayla?
Yeah. So, Skyla. So Lauren,
Skyla,
who is actually, Lauren is one of our BWO members, and she said, never handle a dog you would never own was my best advice. So, you probably don't want to elaborate on that, because I know you might have a story you don't want to put out there, but that is another thing. So like, you might have a terrible experience, which would really knock your confidence down. And one thing I will tell you guys is that, when you go in the ring, whatever tension you have, it goes down the lead to that dog. So like, you might be frustrated, that dog feels every bit of it. You might be nervous, that dog feels every bit of it. So like, just try to, when you go in there, just try to relax, and just try to, you want to lead, you want to be a leader. You want to be a leader, but at the same time, you've got to make it fun for the dog, because once the dog loses that passion in the ring, it's kind of hard to really get it back. So making sure that whatever you got going on, leave it out the ring. Go in the ring and get it done. Get it done.
And be honest, y'all really work your dogs. Like if you don't know how to reach out to somebody that's been to shows. Don't reach out to somebody who's been to shows and stood on the sideline and watched other people show. Reach out to somebody who's been to shows. I mean, there's difference in leads. People like using different leads. Everybody does something different, but to kind of get the same goal. So just and go to shows. I recommend to everybody to go to a show, your first show, and don't even take a dog. Just go to shows, and if y'all ever see us at a show, come up and talk to us. We'll put a lead on a dog that's already trained and let you know how it feels. To let you know we're here to help the community, no matter what might have been said or whatever, y'all. We're definitely we're here to help anybody, everybody who wants it, and that's another big reason for the podcast is for questions like this and people reaching out. So I already feel good about the podcast just answering these 3 questions, and we've had 3 people donate things already in 35 minutes. So I mean, y'all give us a year or 2 and see where we're at.
Yeah. Hey, and speaking of which, and I'm gonna put this out there right now. If there's anybody that wants to go ahead and like sponsor certain aspects of the show that we want to be able to put on, go ahead and get with the Lance and and Jeremy and everybody, because they may I don't know anything about throwing on a show. They might know a little bit more. I know there's a lot that goes into it, but if you're like, hey, I'd be willing to donate the trophy for this event, or I'd like to do this, go ahead and start getting that stuff in the works. It's not going to happen right away, but at least we know where our pieces are, and it'll help us move forward a little bit quicker. Jared says, take your time and ask questions. Learn from others that you see doing well. Everyone has different things that can help.
Facts.
Yes. Hey, Kayla, do you want to join? Kayla's here. She's doing a transport. I sent you the link in Messenger, so if you'd like to hop on and introduce yourself, you can do that. And if there are any other members from the BWO that would like to hop on, you don't have to stay on, but we'll bring one on at a time. Just come in, introduce yourself, tell us who your kennel name is. If you have any champs or grand champs, you're welcome to mention them. And then we'll go into more detail about that whenever we highlight your kennel for the month. Andrea said, do your own research, not just rely on one person. You're good. Yep. So Andrea said, do your own research and don't rely on just one person. That's important too. Right. Yeah.
That's right. And be patient. I mean, you said that, but.
Zach asked, where do we see the BWO in 5 years? So we kind of did ask that question. I think you had left and come back. So.
Go ahead, Lois.
So Lance kind of touched up on that a little bit and said that he's really not sure where we'll be in 5 years, but there are plans set in place where, we would like to be able to be putting on shows and stuff like that. And really it just depends on how quickly we can get pieces moving to be able to make that happen. But, he did say, he would like to see BWO members in every state. And, it's not something that, it's not going to be something that's going to happen fast.
But I'm not going to say, Lois, I'm not going to say in 5 years I want 20 states. I don't want to put a rush on it. It's right when it's right. Damn, Kayla, you look like Chucky coming through the. God damn, Kayla.
Hey, I've been on the road all day.
No, I was saying the way that light was coming across your face, it looked scared.
Dang, Lance, tell me how you really feel.
I ain't saying that, girl. You know we love you.
I know. How y'all been? Doing good?
Good.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah. Have you been to a UKC show, Kayla?
Have I been? No, I have not been to a UKC show.
Shit, Kayla, we got to tighten up. No, we got to tighten up, boy. You got to them handling skills. UKC's on a different level, girl.
Yeah. Make sure you wear your dress and tennis shoes. You got to wear your dress and tennis shoes to fit in. It's a whole different vibe. It is.
So it's more formal, right? Like.
No, I wouldn't even say that.
Mm-mm.
I was not.
Yes, I think there's more people that's dressed up, older folks. But I mean, I was in there in my BWO shirt and my pants and my jeans, like I go. You know how I go to every show.
Right.
I was in there like that, and nobody said a word to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, I do know I've been told that because it's different clubs that throw the UKC events. So you have to call the club and make sure that you can wear, because the one in Lakeland said we were not allowed to wear any logo shirts. So nothing with your dog on it, your kennel on it, nothing like
Gotcha.
that. So she said, other than that,
So
you
it
can wear
really just
whatever you want.
depends.
Mhm.
Okay, so it depends on really who's putting the show on, I guess.
Yes. Yep. So contact
Okay.
them if they say we don't mind, then go ahead and girl, rock out your BWO shirt.
Oh,
Get
I
some
will.
pictures.
I will.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you will. So look, Kayla, we got you coming on. I don't know if you've been watching it or what. But
I
we
just
got
came
you
back.
coming up.
Well, we just did a breeding with Jaws. That's what I was doing. My phone was in the car, and I saw where
Okay.
Taylor had tagged me, and I was like, "Oh crap! We got to get on the road so I can get this up." But
Well,
so I got
look,
to
just
wait.
kind of tell them how your story about how you joined up with us, and kind of what made you want to be interested in us, and how your kennel and how you feel the dog game's changed for you after joining with the BWO,
Okay.
and kind of just your process in the dogs, and represent your kennel. Give your little spiel.
Okay. So I got to start out when I first met Lance.
Oh
It
shit!
was in Huntsville, Alabama. Yep, Huntsville, Alabama. The Pizzagram guy, he was the one who put the show on. But anyways, I remember
Eric Arthur
hearing this
Rhodes.
loud Eric Arthur Rose. I remember hearing this loud mouth country redneck from across the whole. I mean, I could hear him from. I was on the other end and I could hear Lance. Okay, so I was like, I got to go meet this guy. Met him, found out, he's from Oxford. We're both from Mississippi. And from that day on, every time Lance saw me step in the ring, he was ringside hooting and hollering for me and supporting me. And that meant a lot to me, So we kind of built a friendship from there. If we saw each other at a fun show, where it all started, we'd support each other. We all started going to ABKC shows, which that one in Huntsville, I think, was my third ABKC show I'd ever been to. And
It was my first.
Me and Lance, he started. It was your first. Yep. You, Jeremy, and Jared were there. John was there too. But I remember meeting John before that. I had met John before I met all of y'all. But anyways, long story short, it built a friendship. And Lance hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I know you take pictures. We're going to get a group together and can you come take pictures for us for the BWO?" And I was like, all right. I was like, what is this BWO? I was like, I've been seeing it. It had just started. It was probably like 2 months in.
I wish I knew how to send that picture to put it up there to see, because that'd be crazy to see, man. I got it too. I still got the picture in my phone.
Yeah, because I took pictures of Bonnie that day, of Clyde. Lucy was a baby.
Yes.
John had Gucci there.
Yes.
I mean, it was just. Jeremy
that was back in the day, boy.
So it was back. I mean, you look back at it now. That's where we come from, and that's where I started. Anyway, I was like, Lance. I was like, how do you become part of the BWO? Like, how do I join? And he was like, I mean, you want a shirt and then we can call you a member? And I was like, okay. Well then, so that was the easy part. And then after we got to like becoming a group, we're like, okay, so next time we need to vote on members, make sure everybody agrees on, to add. That kind of come from that. But I was super blessed to be a part of the BWO, have always been. We're just a big family and we're continuing to grow. And so
Kayla, I want to say this one. I want to say this one thing.
Okay,
Kayla. When Kayla said, about joining and voting on, so we had some members. We've had one member, and we're not calling any names or anything, but we had one member that was part of it, and that things didn't work out. So that's when the voting kind of came apart. Like, hey, we're not just going to add people; we're going to vote, and stuff like that. So that I just wanted to kind of say that, like, and y'all, we've been turned down. Like, we've reached out to people and said, hey, join the BWO, and they said, hey, we like what you're doing, and and just go their own route. So anyway, Kayla, I just wanted to kind of hit on that a little bit too. I think we lost Kayla, Lois.
I think she's frozen. I know her signal is kind of. Yeah, there you are. You're back. I think. Is she went in and out? Her signal's in and out. You're kind of breaking up. I can hear you, but you're breaking up.
This is why I should have took that. I'm trying to get through this bad spot right now.
Yeah, just hit us back. Hit us back when you get good service.
Okay. Well, now I got a little bit better service. Can you hear me?
All right, you're good now. Yeah.
You're good.
So also, and I might have missed it if you said it. What's your kennel name?
Pearl River Bullies.
All right, and then you also have some champs and grand champs in your camp too, right? Which ones are those? Are you frozen again?
Well, I have champions. Oh God. I'll come back in just a minute. Give me just a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I think
come back in. So I can answer a couple of those questions for Kayla. Yeah, she has Champion Tank and Champion Lucy, and then she co-owns, right, Champion Mopar with Tammy and them. Is that correct, Lois? Isn't that a co-own, or what is that?
Yeah, they're co-owned. He's co-owned.
Okay, so she's got 3, and she just got rid of. I mean, not got rid, but just took J2 back. So she did have J2, which is a grand champion, but it was, kind of a co-owned kind of deal with somebody else. But I think they worked that out. So like I said, sorry y'all, I had to come out of that daggum hoodie. But you see, I layer up with the BWO. I take one thing off. We was even talking about getting BWO underwear today.
Yeah, we were talking about. He said he's going to put on a pair of thongs and bend over for you guys. So Heather says Havana Cuba Bullies would love to tag team a show with you. So there's somebody that would like to partner.
Those are good people, man. They've supported for a long time. Actually, if you'll look them up and look at their logo and my logo, they got the same dog head as I got on my logo. It's crazy. He's got a tent too. It's a blue, white, and red tent that he sets up. But yeah, that's funny. It's funny. He's a good guy though.
Sorry, hold on. Yeah, Jared said hopefully when he was going to help answer the question about like where you see the BWO in 5 years. He said hopefully to continue to move and grow as a group.
Oh, for sure.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I say. We can't. But we can't put on like, hey, we're going to be exactly here. Whatever, and I've already touched on, I see this question here about collaboration to make national winning dogs. Yeah, that would be the cream on the cake, to do that. But I think each year we have gotten bigger, better, and stronger, just to answer that one question. But Kayla's back on now, y'all let her finish her thing. It's Kayla Bell with Pearl River Bullies down in Chattahoochee, Memphis.
No, not Memphis. All right, I'm gonna try and make it quick in case I go out again. But you're so crazy. All right, so Pearl River Bullies. I'm in Central Mississippi. I'm kind of like 40 minutes east of Jackson. Started out with Tank. He's a grand champion, Ricky Ricardo's son. First bully I ever owned. I had pit bulls growing up, and before him, I had nice dogs, but I wanted to get into the showing. And anyways, I ended up with him. It took me forever, but I finally champed him out. And I champed him out the same night I champed my Shamrock daughter out. So I started with those two, and it kind of blew up from there.
That was in Louisiana, right?
Yeah, that was when you champed John Wayne out. We champed
And we
3
got
dogs on
three.
that
That
night.
was what I was telling y'all earlier. That was that show we did 3 champions.
Yep. And it was just amazing feeling for me to do it on my own, and do 2 dogs in the same night was just crazy.
Fucking crazy.
It was just the emotions were crazy. Well, after I did that, that's when, my kind of handling skills took off. Everybody was like, how much do you charge? I want you to handle my dog. And I was blessed to have all the, recognition of my hard work. But that's kind of where I started with Tank. And to this day, I still have him. And, he's outproduced himself a few times. Jameson, he co-owns Champion Bodacious with me. He's actually 2-time Grand Champion Ricky. And I've even, one of Tank's best sons, I pet home for $700. So you live and you learn. You don't know. So I don't know if y'all, a lot of people have hard times picking puppies because if you have to pick by 8 weeks, you don't know if that one's going to be a Grand Champion or a Champion material. And that's as far as like in the future, that's what I hope I can like work better towards is hopefully picking the right puppy. I don't know if y'all have that problem. I know Lois is expecting her first litter, so
Yeah.
good luck. I'm gonna just give you all the luck you need because it's really hard.
You learn a lot. You learn a lot that first litter. You
really do.
I think, and I said this a lot. I don't think we'll win as a whole until everybody's set up, able to keep litters for an extended period of time. And do I know what that is? No, but that's another thing with the BWO. You don't have to keep them all. If the group's so big, it's like I was telling Lois earlier. If you see something you want that I'm doing, let me know. Just like me and Kayla, we co-own a dog together right now. And hadn't had the first fucking problem. The only problem we got is figuring out what motherfucker to breed to.
We keep going back and forth, and we still ain't really 100% decided. And
I don't know. I like that. Decision. I like that last conversation we had. Now.
I do too. I think that's gonna be winner chicken dinner. But as far as champions, I also was blessed with Champion Mopar, Tammy and Robert. They hired me when he was 5.5 months old to train him, and I did. And I fell in love with him. Me and him were attached to the hip, and he would go home, and he'd come back to me. Anyways, they blessed me with him, and I co-own Mopar with them, and it's been amazing experience with them as well. And it just helps out that we're all part of BWO. He's a Grand Champion J2 son, bred to a muscle tone female, which Tammy and Robert own. And he's been a blessing too. I mean, I can't ask for any better dog. He's an awesome dog. I had Grand Champion J2. I co-owned him with Josh. But then I got, things happen for a reason because I need space to train clients' dogs or bring my own puppies up. So
y'all give me a minute.
We've decided to take him. I just dropped him back off with Josh. And things have to happen in order for me to be able to have room. So that's the best decision to make for him. So that's where I'm driving back from. And then I had to pick up. It kind of timed out perfectly because my Tank daughter that I co-own with Taylor and Amanda Parker, they're really great friends of mine. I work with Amanda. We thought she was going to be ready last weekend, and she wasn't, which worked out perfect because I was already coming down here to bring J2 and Kaiser back to Josh, and she was, we did a progesterone test on her yesterday, and she was at a 7, and I was like, perfect timing.
Yeah, that is good timing.
I'm like, I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We drove in to LA Bully Cartel's compound last night. We did one meeting. We stayed there, and then we got up this morning and drove to Keystone Heights, Florida. Which is
not far from me.
Yeah, it's not far from y'all. I know. And Robert, he texted me earlier. He's like, "You stopping by?" I said, "If I have stuff to do, I got to do with my mom tomorrow. And if I didn't have that, then I would have stopped by. It's just I'm on a time crunch, and I got to be back at work Monday. So I'm trying to get home, get some rest, and spend time with her. So this was kind of, and then I just left Ju's house. We did another breeding. with Jaws, and then now we're headed back. So hopefully, crossing our fingers, she takes. Last time she didn't, but it kind of worked out that we didn't really need a litter at that time anyways. Amanda and Taylor were actually in the process of moving, so they didn't want a litter of puppies in the middle of moving,
Yeah.
But that's my day, and then 2 weeks we'll go back. I got to go back to Miami to drop off. I was blessed enough to sell another puppy to Peru. He already has one of my production. Well, it was a production with Candace Davis. That was Tank's first breeding, and we were blessed enough to have a Tank son go to Peru, South America. And he told me when I got Lucy, he said, when she has a litter of puppies, I want one off of her too. And I was like, okay. Well, it's 2 years he has waited, and he's finally getting his female off of Lucy.
Nice.
But we got to go. Yeah, we got to go to Miami in 2 weeks, and she'll be flying from Miami to Peru. So I'm definitely blessed. I never thought I'd have a production in another country.
That's really cool.
So to hit on a question somebody asked earlier, what's it take to be in the BWO? I mean, look at this. Kayla's on a Saturday night at the show, done did a breeding, done drove a bunch of miles. Like this is the dedication and the type people we want. People that are willing to put in and not be lazy and sit at the house and I'll just breed to this stud because he's closer or whatever. Bump that. Like so that's just I just wanted to throw that out there. Just like Lois taking the extra mile to do the podcast, like all this stuff, like this, it takes a team, and the more people that get added, the bigger the machine is, and the bigger, the more, we got to delegate to people. It's just point blank. Can't one person, just run this without, maybe they could if it was just like a straight dictatorship, and as soon as somebody messed up, you were off the list or whatever. But I just think eventually that would play out, so.
Yeah, it's a lot. Lance knows that. We've put many miles on our vehicles. I actually just had to get a new one because I put too much miles on my other one.
I know that's right.
And those miles, my work ain't a far drive. Most of those miles are going to be from dog shows or breeding or, like he said, dedication, man. It's a job. It's a whole nother job.
What would you want everybody out there to? What would you want everybody out there to know about Caleb Bell? What would you want everybody to know about you and your kennel? And what's the number one thing that you like about being with the BWO? And that's more of a me question, but I get to ask these kind of questions now.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer that one first. It's the whole family aspect, man. Growing up, I've always been a family person. My family's always been tight knit and support each other when we need to support each other, be there for when we need to be there. So it's the support you get from your own family, and now you have family outside of your family, and that's what the BWO is. That should be the meaning behind BWO to me. I mean, it may be different for everybody else, but and as a whole.
And we're not a group that's just about us, right? Taylor reached out to us last year, and we're not going to bring up any names, but there was an incident where a woman lost her house and all her dogs. Y'all, in 2 days, we put all our studs up, and we got, like you said, what, Kayla, you got 3 champions at your house?
I do, yeah.
How many you got at your house, Lois?
I've got 1 champion stud.
Okay, and so I got 2 and a grand. So just with 3 members, you got 6 champions and a grand champion. That's just with us 3. Hell, I bet Tammy and them got more than all us put together. So and that's the thing, and we're gonna get those numbers and stuff and those stats figured out to let people really know, because I think sometimes people forget, about the dogs like Tank and like Gucci, the dogs that were the dogs that got Bruno. I would say Bruno more than anybody. Yeah, and then old Bonnie's little ass, So the dogs that really got us started, like I really don't think, and and it's different breeds. I think we're just a really unique group. Kayla, to have oldies, shorty bulls, Frenchies, and these are champions, grand champions.
And then Corsos, English bulldogs. There's all kinds of dogs being
You
shown.
know, I mean, you know everything. So okay, Kayla, my bad. You know me, I'm always talking, but so
Hey,
so
it's
that
okay.
so you like the family thing about the BWO? Now, what's something that before we get off of here with you? What's something you want? Like what's the main thing you take pride in at Pearl River Bullies? Like just you and Kayla. Like, what do you want? Like, as far as for the community to like, what do you want them to know? Like, what you strive for mainly?
My biggest thing is the confidence a dog has in the ring.
Say that again.
Confidence.
The confidence a dog has in a ring.
Oh, goddamn. I know that's right.
Just as well, everybody that watched me and Tank, and especially Tank, everybody that watched him in the ring knows how much he loved to be in there. And that just lights a fire in my butt. I mean, just to see a dog that goes, just, I hate seeing a dog that don't want to be there. That's the biggest thing for me is a confidence thing. I love seeing a dog that loves to be in the ring. And it just,
me and Lois struggling over it.
I mean, and that's a lot of reason why, some people, that's a reason why, like, some people, what are you doing, Lance?
Nothing.
Laughing at something.
No, I was laughing at me and Lois because
Okay.
Beefcake and John Wayne were not very spunky today.
No.
But they did good. They did good. We got points, and we handled business.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you think confidence? You think confidence in a dog is that's what like? I'm not saying that that's what you're all about, but like to you, that's a very important trait with a show dog.
It is. It is. I mean, for my dogs. Now, I mean, I'm not dissing anybody else's dogs if they don't want to be in the. You know what I'm saying? Because some dogs.
Yeah, we know you're talking about me and Lois, Kayla.
Yeah, I'm calling you out.
You better be lucky. I mean, you better not come through South Georgia, girl.
No, I didn't hit South Georgia. Are you still in Georgia?
Yeah, we got a show tomorrow. We'll get a 2-day show.
Oh Lord. I mean, the confidence thing is just my opinion, like what I love to see. As far as who I'm about and what I bait all of my dogs, like training, and I love to get them when they're young because I want them to love to be in the ring. I have had instances where I get somebody's dog to train or just campaign for the year. Grand Champion J2 is he's one of the reasons. He did not like being. The older he got, the more he hated being in the ring.
I think that's what we're dealing with too.
Right.
Hey,
So
yeah.
I had to try all these tricks, and I come to find out he loves duck treats, and that would pep him up just a little bit. But by show 3, he's like, all right, I'm done. Take me to the house,
Yeah.
And he would just he would mope through the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the whole reason he came to me, actually, is Josh hired me to handle J2 because I bring that out in them. I try to, at least. Can't do it with every dog. I mean, it's not going to happen. Every dog has a different personality. They're just like people. You'll have a dog that loves to be in the ring, and then you'll have a dog that loves to be in the ring, but you can't tell it loves to be in the ring. So it's just, dogs are funny, man.
Do we have any more questions on there, Lois?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
She said there's quite a few. Shoot out a couple while Kayla's on here. Let's answer them.
Zach Dolan had a really good question. Do you see BWO collaborations to make national winning dogs?
I mean, that would be. Would that not just be? Would that not just be awesome?
I know.
Crazy ass.
That would to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're striving for sure. And that's like I said. And that's why I say that the sooner we can start networking with each other, and the sooner stuff like that's going to happen. Like the sooner we can the sooner we start doing breedings together and stuff, like, who knows, this breeding that me and Kayla got planned on this bitch may do something that we breed to something, off of Lois's yard, and boom, that may get us there. And I mean, to me, that would be
a collaboration coming up. I can't tell you about it because it's not my female, but I have been in touch with one of the other BWO members to collaborate. So that should be happening soon.
Oh, nice.
Who is that? Who said that?
Zach was the one that asked the question. But the collaboration, I'll let the female owner, because I know. Listen, no shade for Tone, because I love Tone, but like we weren't gonna announce the breeding yet until the breeding took place, and he went live on the way to the freaking vet to say that he was meeting us up there. I was like, dang, he busted our freaking news. So I'll wait. He was, and it was kind of good because then I also had his people hear it from him too. So it's like, I'm not mad at him, but I'm just like, okay, I'll make sure I won't do that to anybody.
Well, and next time you'll let somebody know, right? Like, hey, we're keeping this a secret, so you learn something too.
Yeah.
Zach says, does BWO have a website? That was something I asked Lance about.
Not yet. So, there's a couple of us that have websites. I have one, but yes, we're going to get one. Like I said, we're trying to figure out the merchandise thing for the BWO, and me and Kayla are trying to get together and actually start accounts and everything for the BWO. So this is the first year that we're charging fees because, like we said earlier, our mission is to throw a show together, a BWO show. So we're getting accounts. So like I said, I feel like, in a month or so we'll have some other stuff done. We want to see, before we do the BWO website and we invest any more money like that way, I mean, this is kind of what the podcast is doing. This is kind of what the podcast is doing to see what kind of following we get, and if this thing just blows up, oh, for sure. And a website for the BWO is in the mix, but it's one of those things. Again, I'm not going to put a time frame on it. We just kind of going and playing it by ear,
Yeah. Right now, your best bet is to follow the page, because anything that would have been on the website will be on that page. We have all the kennels listed, all the owners listed. These people are posting up post of their dogs and the puppies they have for sale. So like, I'm, been, as much as I can, have every time I run across a post, I'll make sure I share that to the BWO page so you guys aren't missing anything. So anytime that there's pictures that have been taken of dogs in the ring, if there's anything like that, I share their post to the BWO page. So the more content they're putting up, the more you'll actually see. And there are times when you can open the BWO page and see 10 or 12 posts. So there's quite a bit. And every day I've been trying to post a reel. And so you'll get something really fun and cool to watch, and then you'll see more posts of some just badass dogs that this group is throwing up. So like,
smash that follow button. The bigger that page gets, the bigger, the more stuff we'll be able to do, the more stuff we're going to do. We're open to working with a lot of people. Like I said, this is just kind of dipping our toes in the water. This, every podcast isn't going to be like this. It's going to be more structured. It's going to be about that person, like where Kayla's sitting right now in that picture. And, it may be her. We may draw her name first. We don't know. But whoever it is, it'll be all about them, and it'll be really you just calling them and asking questions. And me and Lois, I have a few little questions wrote down, just to keep it moving if it, dies down, or, questions that we think are good questions. What you laughing at me, Lois? I'm too honest, ain't I?
I'm not laughing at you, but there's a whole conversation going on because Zach's been asking different questions, or he's commenting a lot. And then, so they're all like, oh, Zach, you really want that cup, don't you? Because, we're picking a random comment. And then and then James comes back.
The cup big as he.
And then Jerry James comes back and says, just a post for the cup. Like, that's his comment.
Hey, them some bitches want that cup.
But it all counts. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if your comment's just a reply to somebody. It doesn't matter if you're interacting here. That helps us circulate this video, and that helps us. It's more
And
advertisement
look,
for the podcast
if
and all
you ever
that.
join the BWO, you better not have no thin skin. You better have some thick skin, boy. I'm telling you, they own that. That's crazy.
Got to.
Jameson has a question. Can you read that, Lance?
Yeah, I can read it. Jameson always trying to mess with me. When you gonna retire both from the ring? I don't know when I will, man. To be honest with you, Jameson, we pushed so hard in the ABKC for 3 years with like I said, 3 champions and a grand champion. Had John Wayne top 10, for 2 years in a row. The goal this year, we do have goals for him. I guess when we reach all of his goals, I think I don't know, man. That's kind of a sad question to ask, man. I don't really know. We're close to some goals this year. I'd like to get him, dual, triple, quadruple champ, and maybe possibly at least a dual grand, somewhere, if not more. But I don't know, Jameson. Really, man. This year's going to be a good year for him, but I don't know. Maybe next year. I don't know. But he's open to the public. Right now, 2,500. 500 lock in. I do have a paid in full option at 1,500, taking $1,000 off of the full credit. So I do have that option going. But really, want to do some breedings with him, and I'll probably never retire him from breeding because I've seen what he's doing. He's doing pretty good, but I don't know, Jameson. I probably this year running real hard and not real hard, but running a bunch of different registries and just kind of see how it goes, man. Like Lois was saying, the older they get, they kind of seem they kind of seem like they get tired of it,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't answer that question. I would say this year, maybe next year, probably.
So
Wade Elliott.
Wade says, is the future of the BWO going to include DNA and health testing to bring betterment of the breed to the forefront of the conformation standard? So I kind of would like to touch on that just a little bit.
That?
Yeah, you can. I'll add to
it. Ooh, girl.
Yeah. So before I ever bred Tank or Lucy, the first thing I did was help test them with Embark. Because I don't know. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people do know. I am a vet tech. I've been for 10 years now. So I see tons of dogs come in the clinic. I have seen tons of breeder dogs come in the clinic. And I'm like, I will never, and they're unhealthy dogs, right? So people are out there breeding unhealthy dogs. They don't keep them up to date on vaccinations. They don't keep them up to date on flea and tick meds or heartworm prevention. We have done C-sections only because the dog was in active labor, but the dog would have a grade 4 heart murmur. So when I got into this, I said, I will make sure I have healthy dogs, healthy breeding stock before I ever even decide to breed them. The first thing I did with Tank when he was 7 months old, I embark tested and make sure he was all in the clear. He is a CRD4 carrier for 1 copy. So not every female, which is my fault, and I'm going to get better at it, but every female that I bred to, I had the majority of them were health tested through Embark. So I just wanted to make sure they didn't carry at least 2 copies of that CRD4, which a lot of people freak out about it, but it's nothing to freak out about.
Can you tell them, Taylor, what that is? Because there might be some people that won't know.
Okay, so CRD4 carrier affects the eyes, the retinas. Pretty much what that is when your dog gets 11 or 12 years old, if your dog lives that long, your dog may develop cataracts and it may go blind. So it's nothing that's going to affect it early on in life, or it's everyday ritual. It's not going to affect it that way. Now, a lot of people freak out. Oh, you can't breed a copy of CRD4 to a copy of CR4 because your puppies are going to be born blind. No, absolutely not. Nope, not going to happen. Me and my Dr. Bobo, me and my boss have had conversations about it, and he was like, so it's pretty much just saying when your dog gets old age, it may have cataracts and go blind. Every dog is that way. So that's nothing to panic about. and I may get roasted for that because a lot of people just don't like it. But
yeah, but whatever. But but to me, I mean, you did the health testing and you got what the information that you needed to get, and you're not going to double up on that,
right.
if you know about it.
Yeah.
But to me, like when Wade said the future BWO going to include DNA health testing, like I said, man, we don't have Wade. Wade's a good guy, y'all. He's we're sponsoring the Best in Show trophy up at his show in Ohio. They're doing the $20,000 baddest motherfucker in the building, get 20 grand cash in hand. BWO sponsoring the trophy. It's in Ohio. Wade, you can shoot the dates and the address if you feel free to drop a flyer or whatever in the comments so people can know. But to me, we're not a group that's going to say, hey, if you don't do this, you don't do this.
Right.
But now if we see somebody doing some bad breedings and keeps doing it, it's definitely something that's going to be addressed. And if you don't fix it, yeah, you definitely will be out of the group. We believe in it. All of my dogs are not health tested and stuff. The ones I breed, I've had hips, I've had heart, I haven't had everything done on John Wayne, but I've had hips, heart, embark done and everything. And like Kayla said, one thing came back on the embark. It was something like a liver or something. But, it's just, you don't double down on that.
I can talk about that too. So it's the ALT levels. I'm pretty sure that's what me and you talked about with John Wayne. Because I have a dog. It's Lucy. Lucy came back as a low, like her ALT levels, which is connected to the liver. That's what that is. Maybe a low normal. Okay, so a low normal is still normal. You just and if you read like the little section below when your results came back, it just tells you to let your vet know. So if they do blood work and it's a low normal, it's still normal. So that's right. Nothing to panic. That's nothing to panic about either. Like we've never had any issues with that.
So like I said, like, is it something that we're going to require? Are we requiring? No, we're not. But it's something that we recommend, and and I think a lot of people do it, in the group. Like I said, Kayla had. Lois, have you done any health testing or anything?
So people laugh at us. We actually take our pups to Banfield because they're just freaking awesome with like their puppy plans and stuff. And every single one of the puppies we have get wisdom paneled. So we do have that. Yeah. And
okay.
Which is basically similar to Embark.
Kayla, if you ever have time, I'd like to shoot you the results and you look at it for me. But every single one of them have told me everything they tested for came back negative. So nice. I feel really good about our dogs. So
that's
yeah,
that's good. Yep, that's really good.
Jameson said low liver enzyme. Yep. And then Wade Elliott said, I knew the answer for testing done on John Wayne. Just wanted to get the cup.
Hey, everybody after that cup, boy, I might need to raise the price on them some bitches.
Wade Elliott said July 22nd. He put both center for Cleveland, Ohio. He says thank you to BWO and Blue Magic Bullies for your sponsorship.
Yeah, no problem, bro. We're gonna have a good time.
Yes, Jameson, I can send you over the results for Rain. She was also tested. She sure was. They said she come back 100% brat. That's what she is. she's half kangaroo too. The dog can jump. I want to put her in some agility stuff.
That's awesome.
She's crazy.
So you wanna pop the wheel up?
Yeah. So we're gonna pick a kennel that we're gonna highlight for the next month, and during our next podcast. That kennel is going to come on. Hopefully, I need to touch base with the kennel first. Make sure that they're willing to come on and talk. I would need a lot of.
No. They get picked. You got to take your turn when you get picked.
I need a lot of content from them so that way I can be posting stuff all month long about them. Wisdom and Paw Prince is one of my favorite. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I think I need help reading mine just to make sure I know what I'm looking at. Because y'all know I'm pretty new at all this. All right, ready? All right, let me turn the camera.
Oh shit, that looked weird.
Hold up. Let me just unplug this. Yeah, it lists when I put the kennels in once. It actually lists them. Right. But all I gotta do is take their name off after we pull their name, And
Taylor, why ain't you got your BWO shirt on?
Because it's cold and I'm driving. I ain't had a shower since yesterday morning. I'm ready to get home, take a bath.
Oh,
all right, I'm trying to figure out how to flip this camera. I don't know if I can. Hold on.
don't flip it, Lois.
Don't look the
Y'all, like I
camera.
said, we're working out the kinks, and like I said, this is going to be done from Lois's house and my house once a month. Holy shit, what's going on,
It's in black and white for BWO, baby.
baby?
All right, the winner is Ink Pimp
Corey.
Bullies.
Corey and Lauren from Tennessee, they just won best dog in Mississippi. That's awesome.
Hey, this is perfect timing.
Awesome.
Perfect fucking timing.
Yeah. Ink Pimp Bullies. So you guys
Tag them in there, Kayla or Lois. Tag them in there and let them know that they just won. Not the cup, not the covenant.
Let's see.
Not the cover.
Kayla, you riding with anybody or you by yourself or what?
Yeah, no, I got Holly.
Oh, what's up, girl? Oh shit, Kayla, you going through a bad spot again. Lois said you had one more time go through a bad spot. She was deleting your ass.
I'm in the woods of I'm in Alabama.
All right, girl. Well, look, appreciate you stopping on, Kayla.
All right, I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, you be careful. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Tammy said, I'm not coming on. It's okay because Rob talks so much. Rob would come on for you guys.
Who, Tammy?
Yeah.
We gotta have little
Tate said, I called 2 vets today and neither knew what OFA testing was, the OFA testing.
OFA, yeah. You need to get a new vet.
Thank you, Jameson, for tagging them. And Nikki, thank you guys. Yeah, so yeah, I think it is really important for the testing because if that's the thing is I think that's the problem with a lot of people doing just random breedings. Like that's why you're ending up with messed up dogs. That's why you're ending up with dogs with health issues and with just all kinds of problems in general because when you do breeding, it should be for a purpose, right? So you're not just picking the closest dog to you and go, hey, this is all I got to work with. Like if you're gonna do this, do it right. Do it the right way.
That's right. Well, especially if you got a stud that's being used a lot, or if you got a female that you plan on being a foundation female for you and breeding a couple of times. We definitely will, Lauren. We'll Lois. So, like I said, she's gonna lock it down. But in the meantime, be sending her. Do you want her to send it on your personal messenger, Lois?
Yeah, just do it on personal message, so they're not blowing up the chat group for it. So if you would, I need like videos, pictures. It's easier for me to download all that stuff in one spot, like on Messenger. That would be amazing. I'll be making like little short, like TikTok videos, like I've been doing for Reels, and also just whatever posts that you make too. I can just share and make sure I pin those at the top of the page and all that. What are you doing, Lance? What is that?
Look at John Wayne. He wore out.
Oh.
I gotta cover my little buddy up.
Yep. We got beefcake too.
Yeah, just send a bunch of hey, it looks like you're staying at the same place I am. Just tell her to send a bunch of pictures, videos, and and tell them to be kind of, Lauren would need you and Corey to kind of, sit down and write down, kind of what you want to talk about and what you want to explain yourself and your kennel and what made you want to be part of BWO and things.
So Shakia also said the vet that she asked that said they didn't know about the OFA testing, then told her I needed pre-op blood work for basic cardiac examination. I told the woman I'd be calling her back, but now I'm good.
ask her where are you located, and maybe we can try to help find you a vet that does offer those services. I know with my heart test, my vet there's somebody that comes in once a month or once every 2 weeks or something, and I had to do the heart test. I had to pay for the heart test. It was expensive. But now there's some people that do OFAs, and they say the only way to do it is to kind of sedate them. I had my hips done with John Wayne unsedated. But I'm gonna go back and do the sedation and get them to set the hips, because he was fighting them the whole time. I mean, the hips, I got pictures of the hips. Anybody that wants to use him, they're good, but I think we could get a better score if they were held, if he was actually not fighting them, so I would recommend to kind of, put them to sleep a little bit, do it right. I know it's always a gamble putting a dog to sleep, but,
Western North Carolina. That's where she's at.
Okay, that's your sister, ain't it? Or
Shakia's in Western North Carolina. My sister, or it's either my brother-in-law or my sister. I really would like to talk about food you give your breeding females. That's a very good question, because I've got one that's pregnant.
So I feed. I always feed my pregnant females. I'll keep them on regular food. Give them a little bit of goat's milk. After I do the breeding, about 30 days or so, when I can tell that they're pregnant or when we confirm, I switch them. I start, mixing in puppy food, the puppy food that I'm going to feed the puppies. And I use Blue Wilderness as my puppy food. And then I eventually have her eating just that. And then I always throw a little goat's milk in there, because that's just what I've always done ever since we were little kids raising dogs. And I ain't never seen goat milk hurt a dog. If anything, they need all those extra calories and stuff. I'm not too hip on all the prenatals and stuff. I've heard pros and cons either way. I've heard some people say you don't need all that stuff, but just make sure that I just recommend you make sure your dogs are wormed and updated on shots. Well before the breeding, not doing all that stuff right before or after the breeding, and do all that.
So, Kayla says sedation is the best way to get the OFA shots.
I believe that too.
And then Alex Marlena says the vet says to keep the female protein under 18% before breeding. I've heard that too.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'll like I said,
everybody having problems though, because there is a vet, and we've been using this vet too, that complains about Victor, and they're like, you shouldn't use it for your breeding females. It makes your litter smaller, just all that. Now, personally, I've seen people that use Victor for their females, and they still have 10 puppies. I'm like, I don't know.
I do. I feed Victor, and I've had my last 2 litters. One litter was 2 and one litter was 8. I've always, been told and talked to my reproduction vet, and he says, the number of puppies you have is, obviously you got to have good semen, but it's all on the female with the eggs and stuff. Now I have heard of somebody told me the other day that they had a bunch of females that didn't take, and they said something about changing the food. Even if, no matter what it is, just change the food. And next go around, I've heard stories of that working. I haven't necessarily run into that problem yet. Like I said, I mean, I had a litter or 2. I've had 4 litters, and I've been feeding Victor since day one. I've had 2 litters of 5, a litter of 2, and then a litter of 8. So, and that's in-house. So
I've heard that too, Shakia. Shakia says, don't forget the folic acid for pregnant females. And then can you just elaborate why that's important? And then she also says food with peas and legumes cause infertility. So that's kind of important. I've heard a lot of people say they've been choosing food without peas in it. And that was a huge conversation. Yeah, I've heard about that too.
Well, I mean, like I said, a lot of situations are different, but that's definitely good info, Kia, Tate. So, Appreciate that. And that's another thing about this podcast. This is what we want. We want interaction with the community. We want not just our stories. We want to get to know you guys, people we don't know, or maybe people who've seen us on, and on Facebook. But now this is your chance to actually get to see who we are and actually meet all the members. So I think that's a good question. And these are good questions. And look, if you know anybody that's in the BWO, go ahead and start writing down questions. So when they come on, you don't forget what to ask them. And especially Lois, y'all make sure y'all ask her a bunch of tough ones when we do JBL.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Stay away from grain-free. Yes, Jerry. Jerry Jane said, oh, hold on. Shakia says folic acid decreases the chances of deformality like cleft palates. That's good to know.
Jerry Jane good. What is that, folic acid?
Folic acid.
Is that like a pill or a powder or something?
You probably can get it. I would check Amazon and see if you can get it. You probably is a pill or powder or maybe a liquid of some kind. Jerry said, stay away from grain-free for breeding females. I say stay away from grain-free from all dogs because my Chihuahua he's in like a stage 5 out of 6 heart murmur, and he's got a really big, like enlarged heart. Like it's bad. He's suffering. But we used to feed him grain-free food. And then after he got sick, I looked it up and found all these researches and studies done that link heart problems with grain-free food.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Shakia says that you can get a pill at the pharmacy or powder, either you can choose.
So I like that about dogs. A lot of things that, are kind of, human fixes too, that you can get, places,
Yes, Kelsey says stay away from grain-free with all dogs. Yes. Cardiomyopathy. Yep. And then Jameson said spinach is high in folic acid. And Jerry said yes, they have legumes in them. Kayla, yep, stay away from grain-free food for all dogs. So here's the thing. Okay, so here's the argument that I've heard from people about grain-free food. They were like, well, dogs don't eat grains in the wild, which we have to take a step back and remember that in the wild, dogs would eat prey, right? And prey would have grains in their digestive tract, which is something that was consumed by the dogs. So yes, they actually would have that in their diet naturally.
Good questions, though. Y'all appreciate the interaction. For sure.
Green term. Right.
What do you think, Lois?
I think it was a pretty good podcast. We kind of were all over the place, but it was our first one, and I really feel like.
Go ahead.
I really feel like we were off to a good start. I feel like we got a lot accomplished. Tammy says, "Love y'all. I need to get off. Great show."
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Yeah, but I kind of figured we would, on this one be kind of all over the place, because we're explaining. But now we have a direction, right? Was it Ink Pimp Bullies?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's going to be all about them. And like I said, y'all, in the meantime, y'all look their kennel up. Ink Pimp Bullies, Lauren Eccles, Corey Eccles.
Go follow them. Yep, go follow them.
Go follow them, go support them. But, look at their stuff and see what they're doing. Like they just had a big weekend this weekend, go look at their stuff and get some questions ready for them, Like I said, we're going to keep it positive. So if you got something negative to say, you can write it on here all day long, but we're not going to acknowledge it, I want
everybody to go here right now and go follow their page. So you're going to click the follow button. See, mine says following. And then you're also going to hit the 3 dots. And sometimes it's there. I guess it's not there. But if you haven't liked their page, there should be a like button here somewhere too. Go ahead and do it. So they should go from 616 followers when we're done. There's 21 people. If you're not already following, they should be up to at least 180 once we're done all following. So do that because a lot of their content you're going to see doubled over to the BWO page plus some more. And it looks like they also they make their own TikToks and stuff too. So looks like they have a TikTok. You guys can follow them over there. Just look through it. Spam them with love.
all that stuff will be mentioned when we talk to them. Any way to get up with them, any way of contact they want to give out, from as far as email to whatever, to TikTok to Instagram, all that information Lois is going to make. We'll have something that comes up on the screen. We'll do it before and right at the end of the show. To let you know. So that way you can be looking on their stuff while we're on the show. We're not going to put a time limit on it. We're going to kind of do like we've done now, and we're going to figure all that stuff out as we go. I mean, we're not going to be able to talk 2 hours, all the time. We're not going to be able to, we'll figure all that out. But I definitely appreciate everybody, and I look forward to this new journey with all y'all. And I appreciate you again, Lois, like I said, for really pushing this and getting it going. And like I said, y'all keep it bully, keep working them dogs. And y'all got any questions in the meantime, y'all hit us up. But y'all please go follow that BWO page and follow everybody that's on it, or who you want to. But we definitely appreciate it, and BWO to the world, blow, baby, all day.
Thank you guys for joining us for tonight's podcast. If you were kind of joined in late, you can go back and just watch from the beginning. We'll announce the winner for the cup. They keep saying cup. They're commenting cup because they want to get their comments in. I mean, it's all, I don't mind. You do it. It helps circulate the content either way. But yeah, so just make sure that you stay tuned. We'll announce the date for the next podcast. And
we have a stack box. And make sure to tell them, Lois, remember we got a stack box from Jameson Pearson, Noble South Bullies. Bully Stacks, I think, is the name of his stack box company. Is that right, Lois? Bully Stacks?
It is a handmade with love stack box. And I have had a lot of people say it is the best stack box they've ever had.
He builds cabinets for a living and paints cabinets and builds cabinets. So, I mean, cabinet makers are your best, carpenters sometimes. So, he's definitely good at what he does. And then, like you said, Jerry James, appreciate you, brother. Want to give you one more shout out. Appreciate you for dropping that, that breeding coefficient, testing. He said he was going to do it every show or just the next show.
He just said, he said every show, but I think I can't remember if there was a number of those.
Okay. But anyway, we at least got one of those for free, and I think that's about a $30 or something or $50 to something value. So, depending on what
right now that wants to do a line breeding or an inbreeding. So,
hey, look, y'all. Yeah, and I know I'm keep rambling, but anybody who wants to donate, and you don't have to be BWO. If you want to donate something, reach out and we'll give your kennel and we'll give y'all a shout out on this podcast, and we'll give y'all maybe y'all can pick up some followers and stuff too. Like I said, y'all, we're in this for the community. So see y'all next month. Y'all be looking on the BWO page for the new site. We're gonna get logos and stuff made. And banners and stuff made, and it's going to be a lot better next time, and I hope it keeps getting better. And like I said, appreciate you, Lois. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
See y'all. Bye-bye.